Victor was not the first of our kind, as you were led to believe. He was once human, the ruler of these lands.
Underworld Awakening Story Banacardo Longchach said, Chat long story concept for Underworld 6. Awakening Underworld 6. Awakening, the gothic, action-packed world of Lycans and vampires takes a darker and more apocalyptic turn. A CT1, the rise of chaos. The story begins years after the last major confrontation between the Lycans and the vampires. Selene, Kate Beckinsale, the death dealer, has become a legend among both species. Having disappeared from the public eye, she lives in isolation with her daughter, Eve, whose hybrid blood is the key to unimaginable power. Meanwhile, a new faction emerges, a powerful cabal of humans, Lycans, and rogue vampires united under a charismatic and mysterious leader named Malachi. This faction, calling itself the Red Dawn, aims to eradicate both the vampire and Lycan species by harnessing ancient dark magic and advanced bioweapons. They believe that wiping out the supernatural races will end centuries of bloodshed. Selene is pulled back into the fray when a brutal attack wipes out one of the last surviving vampire covens. She barely escapes, learning that the Red Dawn has declared an all-out war. The remnants of the vampires and Lycans, now fractured and leaderless, face extinction. A CT2, the hunt for the Crimson Codex. Selene reunites with David Theo James, who has assumed the role of an unlikely leader for the remaining vampires. They uncover information about an ancient artifact called the Crimson Codex, said to contain spells capable of turning the tide in any war. However, the Codex is protected by a mythical guardian deep in a forgotten vampire temple. Selene and David set out on a dangerous quest to retrieve the Codex, accompanied by a reluctant Eve, who struggles with her growing powers and her fear of becoming a pawn in the war. Along the way, they encounter remnants of Lycan clans, some of whom reluctantly join forces with them, realizing the existential threat posed by the Red Dawn. The journey to the temple is fraught with danger, including ambushes by Malachi's forces, ancient traps, and horrifying creatures guarding the Codex. In a climactic battle at the temple, Selene faces off against Malachi's second-in-command, an enhanced Lycan warrior named Kyle. They retrieve the Codex, but at great cost several allies are lost, and Eve's powers begin to spiral out of control. A CT3, the final awakening. Returning to the vampire stronghold, Selene discovers the shocking truth: Malachi was once a death dealer like herself. He became disillusioned after witnessing centuries of senseless bloodshed, and believes that erasing both species is the only path to peace. Worse, he has managed to capture and manipulate Eve's hybrid DNA, creating an army of monstrous, uncontrollable hybrids. Selene must make an impossible choice: use the Crimson Codex to destroy Malachi and his army, knowing it might cost her own life, or risk Eve falling into Malachi's control. The final battle takes place in a sprawling, ruined city as